that was the days before digital. That was, the old timey
That's what I was saying.
reel to reel type thing, and that doesn't happen anymore unless you have lots of money.
Oh yeah, because that's expensive tape.
Yeah, I think one of those reels is like $500.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
No, it's well, yeah, obviously with that, but it's very much. I've noticed that there are some people who will be very, very, I guess not so cooperative with when it's like a new singer up on the stage. Like for example, the band Morbid Angel.
Mm-hmm.
David Vincent he was angry about it because he was like, oh, well, if I'm going to leave the band, I'm going to take my music rights with me. And he took their drummer at the time, and he made this band called I Am Morbid. So now they only play David Vincent songs. But now, and then they do the same thing with the actual Morbid Angel. Steve Tucker, who was the vocalist for 3 albums, he told them, hey, well, if you guys are going to do that, then I'm going to do it too. So, I mean, as much as I loved seeing Steve Tucker perform live, with Trey and everything, I just wish I heard some like David Vincent stuff, but I know I'd have to shell out extra cash for I Am Morbid if they ever came out.
Exactly.
And that's just the unfortunate thing about it, But obviously you guys are doing good with that, so I definitely think that you guys have won the approval for the most part of your fans.
I get that. I haven't had anybody come up to me.
Well, yeah, and just said, "Oh, you're
face
bad."
to face." Yeah, face to face, and say,
"You stink."
Right.
I mean, honestly, the plan when we hit the stage is whether it's one person that paid through the door, 50 people, 500 people, it doesn't matter. We're putting on a show, and if someone brought you there that you're not familiar with our music, you're going to be tapping your toes and bobbing your head.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. And people that are familiar or only love the old Hellshock type stuff, you're going to come out and you're still going to have a good time, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. And I think that's something that people don't really understand. I feel like people are very, there's some people out there who are very alienative towards metal, especially.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it's not for everybody. I've had some people where I've given them like a handful of different kinds of bands. They're like, I can't do it. I'm like, I can understand that.
Yeah.
There's some that just kind of pass it off as saying, oh, I don't want to listen to that satanic mumbo jumbo, It's in the sense that it's not that at all, It's actually one of the most, I think, complex and one of the most realist genres out there,
I tend to agree.
No, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, there's just like songs out there that are just like almost like whole stories, There's this little known band called Exist. They had a band, I think they just had a album come out recently. And there's just like this giant, it was just so amazing just to hear what they were doing because it almost felt like you're seeing a story just played throughout.
Like a concept album.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a concept album. And I think metal does that really well.
Absolutely.
And just seeing them live, though, what was crazy was they almost because obviously they played stuff from their different albums and whatnot. But the weird thing was, and the cool thing, was they kind of mixed together their albums. They intertwined. There was no transitions or anything. Every song after it would fade out would just turn into a different song. And that's something you can not that stage banter isn't good. I loved hearing Suffocation vocalist Frank just rant about Alien Ant-Farm. That was funny. But I think it all just depends on what mood you're trying to set. What story you're trying to tell. You can either be rambling about a band that got popular over a cover, or you can be just trying to tell a story.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of having meaning behind. Whether it's songs or tattoos and all that other stuff. Yeah. There should be something behind it. It shouldn't just be, basically, I always go back to Typo Negative's quote on this. What is it? Functionless art is just tolerated vandalism.
Yeah.
It really, there should be something behind it. Whether it's, deep thought, wearing your heart on your sleeve, as it were. There should be something behind it. It shouldn't just be like, hey, blah, and that's it.
Oh yeah, and that's something I strive for. I mean, we do have the EP out, the De Novo, which has 5 songs on it. They got written shortly before I came into the band, but we also have oh my gosh, how many new songs do we have that we haven't recorded?
That's probably at least 5.
Yeah, so and you can make an album out of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I have written lyrics, I think, for those 5 new songs, and every single song, absolutely, there's some sort of
story behind it.
Oh yeah, I am a huge believer in that, and I'm also a big believer in stage production, and as we go on, I'd like to expand that and have like a bigger show, because I think that even with the minimalistic, very groovy, riffs and drum beats, I think we still put on a very energetic show. It's a show. If you come and see us, it's not just music, because that's something that I just can't stand.
If it's just music,
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't stand people that just go up there and look just at look at their fretboard the entire time. And I mean, that's something that you will never see at any of our shows.
No,
ever.
Yeah.
One of my favorite sayings, and it holds true, again, not just to the genre of metal. It holds true to anything. I have never in my life heard anybody say, I'm going to go hear a band live. They always say, I'm going to go see a band live.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. You need to entertain people. They're paying money. Show them a good time.
Yeah, like especially because it could, like, for all you know, like if you're not doing anything, you might as well just be listening to a live recording.
Well,
that's
I mean,
exactly right.
that's exactly the thing. I mean, especially nowadays. I mean, people have such short attention spans.
Yeah.
I mean, I myself included.
No, me too. Yeah.
But I mean, that's just the digital consumer world that we live in.
Mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. And like I said, like Jako said earlier, it doesn't matter if there's one person there or 1,000. I think even at practice, we put just as much energy into our practices that we do in shows.
Yeah.
I mean, we go there. And we blow the roof off the place every single time. And the practice space that we're in, I can't tell you how many bands have come up to us and opened the door and been like, man, you guys sound so full and so strong and so energetic. And it's like, that's just the music. I mean, it's almost like they can feel what we're doing, like besides the music, through the walls. And that's something that I think... I mean, that's what this band was built on, is putting on a show. Because I remember earlier interviews with the band from the 90s, and they said, we want to keep it, I don't want to say simplistic, but we want to be able to fit in that pocket so that we can move around. If the songs get way too complicated and you have to stare at your fretboard and really focus on what you're playing, then you're not really having fun because you're too focused. We want to keep things very, very groovy, very heavy, and we want people to see us and go, wow, holy crap.
If you as a band, if Hellshock, if we aren't having fun, why should anybody else have fun? Why? Yeah. If you're going to come out and see us, you're going to, like I said 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 more, you're going to be entertained. We're having fun up there, and because of that, you're going to have fun.
Because, it's just the vibe of the room.
Yeah.
So just a quick update. The new tutoring center is open and ready to help you with all of your academic needs. Located in Building F, room F110, the tutoring center has tutors for all subjects, and they're ready to answer all your questions. Stop on by or call 847-925-6539, 847-925-6539. And we're back, and we're interviewing Hellshock right now. If you guys are just listening in, I'm Jon O'Malley from Jagged Music, and we got Jako and Hellshock. I remembered your name this time.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. So obviously we're just talking about how you guys, very much put passion, even in practices, and you put so much passion into your performances. Do you feel like it's kind of like you just, like, in your mind, and it's a simple question, but you think to yourself, like, when you're practicing, do you just imagine that you're playing a show when you're doing that? Like, is that what gets you going, or is it just kind of like natural energy, or is it like...
honestly, there's been a bunch of times where I've shown up at practice and, I felt under the weather.
Yeah.
Maybe I had a bad day at work, someone kicked my dog, whatever it is. And, I'm just feeling just kind of low. And I'll get in there and, like, the first song I just kind of play through and all that stuff. The second song, I'm like, like you said, I'm tapping my foot, I'm bobbing my head. By the end of the practice, I'm all sweaty. I'm like, yeah, this was fantastic. All right, It's one of those things where the music is energy, and honestly, that's what Hellshock is. We sell energy. If we were an energy drink, Red Bull would have nothing on us.
Yeah. And it wouldn't give you wings. You'd just get like a whole new evolution.
Absolutely. but there's, it's not so much that, we're picturing. I mean, again, I'm not gonna speak for everyone. There's been times where I'm playing, and I kind of picture, okay, this is what I'm playing right now. How would the crowd react? Or where should I be, either on stage or what have you, in order to make either this riff or this song be the best it can be. So every now and again I might picture a crowd out there, just kind of close my eyes.
You're in
and
open
all that.
air and you're like, oh yeah, we're on top of the world now, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's definitely one of those things I agree with, that you guys need to have, music itself is very much energy.
Absolutely.
It's very much something that, that kind of goes back to why you should have a diverse taste in music, so you can have something for everything. Because as much as, I'd love to be bumping that new Hellshock EP all the time, it's much more the thing where it's you got to find something else like that if you're not in the mood for Hellshock, if I'm just feeling down in the dumps, I'll just be listening to some shoegaze or something, just very melancholy-esque, or if it's raining, I'll listen to the Smiths even,
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's almost like the whole dichotomy, if you will, between a manic depressive person. You have your screaming highs, you have your terrible lows, and somewhere in between it's all gravy.
Yeah.
But without those terrible lows, you can appreciate the highs. And it's the same thing with music. Sure, we have this high energy, I'm not going to say beat you about the face with our music, but it's high energy. But if you only listen to that, you're not going to appreciate it in as much as if you listen to that and then you listen to something like the Smiths when it's a rainy, dreary day, and then you pop on, go ahead and pop on our songs, and this ain't too bad. All right, this is good. When you get going.
Yeah. And I think what I like so much about as the band pushes forward more and more, and we. I think, like you said, sometimes you come in and you have those off days or whatever. I think that translates very well into our music, because let me tell you, within the past so many months, I mean, we have been writing and writing and writing and writing, and I think we surpass specific genres, because we have songs that sound very, very diverse. I mean, we open with a band called Number, Mother. We open with a number called Mother, and it's how would you describe that song? I mean, I don't even know how to.
Geez, I'd probably put it more along the lines, if I'm assigning it something, almost I'm not going to say grunge, but it's a very. It's dark. I think when we first started writing the song Mother, like I said, our opening tune for most of the shows that we do, and probably a mainstay opener because it's just so powerful. We thought along the lines of Carcass. Oh, I mean, Hellshock is, if you're familiar with old Hellshock, their first EP was pretty much them ripping off Carcass.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it was. But
what a good band to rip off, though, right?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, and Machine Head. I mean, all you guys. That very.
But yeah, that song Mother. It's just dark. It's brooding, and then it's followed by this kind of. I mean, obviously all our songs are in a minor key, but I'd almost put it into a peppy, Megadeth-y type of song, because it's kind of dealing with like war and all that other stuff. And then we have a song that honestly could probably fit on nicely with a punk type album.
Which one is that?
The one song with the music.
Oh yeah. Oh my bad. See, I know exactly.
That would be Saint RX.
With only the banjo.
Oh yeah. Saint RX, which is on the De Novo EP. It's
check it out.
It's a very, very I'd say it's very energetic.
Yeah.
Our other guitarist, KR, which is one of the two founding members of the band. That's one of his favorites, because it's very fast paced. It's very energetic.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's I wouldn't call it softer, because
no, not at all.
But like you said, it could fit along those lines of sort of a punkier sort of vibe to it. But
Punky
it's still heavy.
Punky
I mean,
pop,
all the songs are heavy.
Well, yeah, everything. Just a quick thing. This is Jon O'Malley from Jagged Music. You're listening to WHCM 88.3 FM Palatine, Illinois, a broadcast station of Harper College and its Board of Trustees. I am here with Hellshock here. We've been talking about how they've been, doing and whatnot, and how their music has been kind of unfolding. They've been talking about their new EP. And some past members, and how it's time to overcome like lineup changes and whatnot. And I think that they so far are doing a great job. So how are you guys doing so far? Good.
I've got no complaints.
You got no complaints?
Yeah,
no complaints
I got to tell you, like I said, when I auditioned for the band, I very much got in. I tried to find absolutely everything I could on the band, which, oh my gosh, the overwhelming amount of stuff that I found. I mean, like, really, it used to be a staple of Milwaukee Metal Fest. When does he even still exist?
Milwaukee Metal? I don't think so.
No.
I know they have a Summerfest. But.
Yeah.
Oh, no, completely different.
Not the same.
Two different things, man. Yeah.
No, genuinely, I probably love this band more than a good majority of things in my life. I feel so strongly about absolutely everything that we do and everything that we put out, and we're very critical of ourselves, like a good band should be.
There's always something to work on.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, a song is never finished.
You could always add on more,
Yeah.
It's like an analogy where it's like on Thanksgiving dinner. Sure, you got your meat and potatoes.
Sure.
But you could be adding more. You could be adding the stuffing, the gravy. You could be adding the cornbred. You could be adding anything.
I mean, which is a nice right. Which is a nice thing about this EP is it was actually recorded in the early stages of me joining the band, but I've kind of gone back and forth with myself on it and go, does it really represent my vocals? Does it really represent us? And absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, one thing I've come to the decision that I absolutely love it because it's just enough of a taste to get you interested to come see our live show.
Yeah.
Which, oh my gosh, I would say that if we ever did a live album, it would probably be my favorite album because
it's such a raw sound.
Oh my
it's
gosh,
not
and
behind studio barriers.
It's so good. I mean, you can just feel absolutely everything.
You can feel the shock, no pun intended.
Pun intended, please.
Oh, pun intended. All right.
One of the things I like about the EP and these songs in general, like El was saying, is it a good representation of what we are? And thinking about it, probably not, but it's a fantastic snapshot of what has been. It's almost like a nice bridge. It's what has been Hellshock and what is to come.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a snapshot, and I think it's a perfect bridge.
No, definitely. The bridge analogy is beautiful. I couldn't have said it better myself. You should start writing poetry now.
There we go.
You wouldn't like a lot of cuss
Yeah.
words.
No more Hellshock. You are now a poet, man. You're going to be up there with the top poets, man. And speaking of Thanksgiving, since we're coming to that time, I just thought of it because stuff just pops up into my head. But
Sure.
What is your favorite Thanksgiving? What's your favorite part of the Thanksgiving dinner, like food wise? Because some people like just
I'll let you
mashed
field this
potatoes.
All right, so let the tubby guy field the food question here. It's yes, all of it.
Wow, what an answer.
Yeah,
what an answer, yeah.
You can't go wrong with the turkey. I come from a family that everyone brings something, and obviously everyone's family always does that. The aunt will bring the sides and this and that. And
yeah, it's a scheduled thing.
My family would pretty much everyone would bring either a turkey or a ham and then something else. So there was just so much turkey. There was so much ham. There was
a lot of meat.
Yeah. Oh, you ain't kidding. There was, so many muffins or what have you.
Hey, muffins are.
Well, I mean,
I make a mean cheesecake, and I got it from my family.
oh my gosh!
Recipe.
See,
it's fantastic.
you know what? This is something I don't know about him because that's probably in my top 2-3 favorite foods of all time.
Cheesecake.
Yeah, and I don't even like sweets.
Yeah.
But you gave your answer. I'm going to give you mine. My favorite part of the Thanksgiving meal has to be the fact that I'm consuming a dead carcass. I mean, how metal is that, right?
Metal.
I mean, yeah. But just for the sake, it's turkey. But
All right. Well,
sometimes you just got to feel the flesh ripping from the bone. That's really what it boils down to.
Potato, tomato.
Yeah, it's But definitely that's good to get some input because now I need to like.
What about yours, John?
Oh, you're pushing me. You're pushing me, man.
Let's turn this interview around.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the one being interviewed now. See, it's very much the thing where I think about it because I like sometimes with these questions I overthink it, but. I don't know. Like I started out as very much a person. Like I used to be a picky eater when I was a kid, and I would just have turkey, just plain turkey,
Absolutely.
and it would just be dry and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've grown so much more fond of or like some mashed potatoes. So I'm probably gonna go with mashed potatoes and gravy.
Oh yeah.
Like when I see the gravy boat, I'm like yes. I'm in heaven now, man.
Pull up that gravy boat right to this dock over here. Yeah. Let's go.
And let's just literally, it's like I got just like a fat stack of mashed potatoes. And I'm like, all right, this is what it is.
Right.
Now you're getting hungry, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out to the store, get some potatoes, and mash them up.
Right. I just got back from a 4-hour drive, and I've
need the mashed potatoes.
I've yet to eat. So
all right, we'll cut the food talk then. Just
I know because I've got a puddle of.
Drool.
That's sorry. Wow. Thanks for covering me on that.
Yeah, I mean that's what you're meaning though. It's a puddle of drool. Because I know sometimes we all get like kind of lost in our like thoughts, and we're like, "What is it again?" Drool.
Oh, can't even begin to.
Yeah. I mean, has there speaking of that, has there ever been like a case like during like a performance where you guys have kind of like forgotten like lyrics on stage, or there's been like a mess up, and if so, how do you recover from that? Because I know there's a lot of people who have I've seen some people who've gotten technical difficulties and they just get so embarraed about it because they've never happened to them before, and they're like, how do I deal with this?
No,
how
I mean that's something that I think not to toot my own horn here, but I think comes natural to me is being able to recover from accidental incidents. And I mean, to me, man, I just try and make it look like it's a part of the show. Yeah. I mean, really. Yeah. I think I kicked down KR's guitar stand, or with the show we did with OTEP.
Which, OTEP, you were with OTEP.
Yes. By the way,
how's she doing this day?
You know what? A lot of people, I didn't hear very good things.
Yeah,
as far as playing with them, but no, they were very, very good to us. And I got to talk to Spartan. They call him the Spartan.
Yeah, he looks like a Spartan.
Yeah, the guitarist afterwards, and they were very, very kind to us and very, very, very good to us, and we really enjoyed that show.
See, I think the criticism with OTEP nowadays is because I think they're very
political
with their they're obviously very much for feminism, and that's a good thing.
Oh, sure. I have no problem with people either getting political with their art or whatever, but
as the '80s punk scene was pretty much
exactly. But as for us, no, Hellshock wants to stay out of that.
Yeah, I like to be a little bit more metaphorical with my lyrics.
Yeah, I'd rather take metaphor over politics.
Sure, but if you bring up politics, whether it's in music or, I mean, hell, just look at Facebook. You know, you bring up something political,
it's the war ground now.
Yeah, you're either
right or
burning
wrong.
Half the people, or you're in an echo chamber.
Yeah,
I mean, neither of those are good for either personal growth or for band growth.
Yeah, definitely, because then that just splits your audience and everything. And I think there's always been a problem where I think like bands will just say just to get brownie points because they know what their audience. They're really like, yeah, I support this decision. Everyone's gonna be like, yeah, these guys are cool now. But if they say something that they might actually believe, they're gonna be like, boo, you stink. Yeah, you're gonna see like the the cartoony tomatoes being thrown.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, we just got done. If you don't mind me, I'm not going to say anything too deep here, but we just got done writing a song called "Subtle," and the lyrics were quite a bit different from what they are now, and the title of the song was different. I won't get into that. Maybe an exclusive someday later.
Yeah, but this is top secret stuff.
And,
when we get it recorded and get it played, people will start to understand.
And so I was writing the lyrics to the song, and my good friend Jako here goes, wow, yeah, I like it, but how about trying to be a little bit more subtle? And so I go, you know what? I grabbed a pen and I wrote the lyrics to "Subtle" in like 2 minutes. I mean, and that was one of the great things about it.
You could say I'm your muse.
Oh, I would. And a beautiful muse you are, sir. But yeah, absolutely.
He's a poet.
That was awesome. I mean, they had this thing when we went into the studio. When I went into the studio to record the vocals for this EP, one of the band members was trying to intentionally, I wouldn't say get me upset, but
he was just having a little tomfoolery. You know?
Oh yeah. He goes, I want it more aggressive. I want it,
Yeah, like he's pushing your buttons. Because,
purposely. And I mean, they all kind of got in on it. Even even the guy that helped us produce this,
and you're probably thinking
Chuck
it's going
to be shout out to him. He's awesome, fantastic. That guy's worked with a lot of really good big name people. And most notably, I wouldn't say most notably, but just throwing a name out there. I mean, Whitechapel.
Yeah. Whitechapel.
Yeah,
he did.
He did a fantastic job with them, and did, may I say, an even better job with us.
I I doubt Phil Bozeman's going to call up and say, "Hey, you better watch what you're saying, man."
Yeah. One of the things that is, not to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, there's a certain element in the studio that you miss, as opposed to live shows. You get the energy of the crowd, you get angry or whatever, and that really comes across in the live shows.
Oh my gosh, so much.
It misses out sometimes on the recording, and so sometimes you have to push buttons, whether it's for a singer or for a guitarist.
It's for motivation,
Some of the solos that KR was doing, he just something wasn't happening.
Yeah,
and we were able to not push his buttons in an angry way.
We were giving him a little bit of...
we were, giving a little razz or whatever, and it would get him going. And he nailed this one solo. I always go back to this, I don't know where it was from, but it was some video of Lamb of God in the studio.
Oh, yeah.
And they were recording, now you got something to die for,
Yeah.
And
nice.
They were saying that...
little Jako vocals there.
Great A Randy Blythe impression.
Yeah, I've been working on it for years. There's a scene where he's like, I kind of want to have the live feel of it, you're at the end of the song, you're kind of out of breath, you're sweaty and all that stuff, and the producer of the album goes, well, here's what I want you to do: go outside, run around the block twice, so you get out of breath, and there's stairs up to the studio and everything. Get out of breath, and when you come back, just start singing the song. I'll have the mic right here for you. Don't even stop to whatever. So Randy Blythe goes outside and he's smoking a cigarette. He's like, what is this guy talking about? This is stupid. This producer comes out. He's like, I told you to run. And
he's like,
he takes off. And, sure enough, he comes barreling back through the door. He basically falls on the floor, and he's out of breath, and he's sweaty. He's like, no, and he just nails it.
Yeah, I think it was more the irritation of having to run.
That too.
2 laps. But I think it's because, hey, he's like, I can't make this happen, huh? And then his producer saying, hey, I've got a perfect idea for you.
I mean, I mean, with anybody that knows me, the best way to get me to do something is to tell me that I can't do it. Because I don't care.
The motivator.
I don't care what it is. If you tell me I can't do it,
I bet you can't make me a turkey.
Well, we'll see here.
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer ham right now, but
either way.
All right, so just a quick update for you guys listening. Take WHCM with you anywhere you go. Download the free Radio FX app on any device and keep up with our DJs and show scheduling. It has all the amenities that you need while listening to college radio. And here we are back with we got Hellshock here still. We've been talking about Thanksgiving dinners. We've been talking about Randy Blythe running 2 laps around, and he said his producer was a dum-dum, but no. But you guys got any shows coming up actually? Because I don't think I asked you guys.
I think there's. I don't know if we're doing the one in December with.
We've got something lined up for December, but we're still trying to nail that one down. We just got back literally this morning from Iowa City.
Well, I came straight here.
Yeah. It was a nice little road trip. You had some John Denver in the background.
Sure.
Take me home. I was born country road, West Virginia.
Mountain Mama. Yeah. Hey.
By the way, that was not me singing.
That was
for anybody listening.
That was Jako.
Wow.
Good job, Jako. First Randy Blythe, now John Denver.
Hey, I'm a man of multiple talents here.
Yeah, you can do any vocalist if you want. He can even do L's vocals for all that.
Go ahead, I can't. Give it a shot. Give it a shot.
Give it a shot. Do it. All right, but so you guys were saying that you might be doing a show in December. Would you care to elaborate on that for now, or
weren't you hooking that one up?
Yeah.
What is?
With Chicago bands, or is it?
Yes, actually, a band just starting out right now.
Really?
I think it was their. Wasn't it like their EP release or something?
release party, which
Man, we're terrible at this.
Yeah, I don't know if it's okay to name it yet.
Yeah, it's fair because it's an uncertainty right now.
Right, but it'll be, if it goes through and everything works out, it's going to be one heck of a time because there's going to be a lot of bands there. I think they had like 4 or 5, 6 that they were trying to line up, and some of the bigger local name bands considering it. So I hope it works out. But we just we played. Like you had mentioned, a show in Iowa City last night at a place called Gabe's, co-headlining with another local band, A Silent Truth. And it's the first time we've gotten to play with them. They're good friends of ours and even closer friends after last night. And I was told by all the band members that they would like to put together some more shows, and so I think
that's good. You're building contacts.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can look forward to more shows between the two of us.
Oh, and I think I'll have to check that out myself too.
Very good band.
Oh, very good band. Give them a listen. Pretty much.
A Silent Truth.
A Silent Truth.
And they're not silent, oddly enough.
Oh
no, they're loud.
Far from it.
They're loud. They're blowing up amps.
Yes.
So obviously Chicago is a very diverse music scene and whatnot. You can find any scene there, but it's always in the different circles and whatnot. For example, I know there's like an industrial circle. There's obviously like a thrash punk industrial circle. What I have been noticing though is that obviously you get big bands that come out of here. You got Ministry and Smashing Pumpkins and Disturbed, and you got all these big bands and whatnot, even Chicago for that matter. But it's the weird thing where you think about it, right? It's like with all these bands, you'd think that there would be the others that would have been discovered. And I know, like I said, we're predominantly in a pop rap market at this point. But you'd think eventually by now you'd be seeing like Texas Toast Chainsaw Massacre's debut album release party, or like Ugly Bones coming out, with but and I understand, but sometimes it's kind of good to kind of have that that small time when you have it,
Oh, absolutely.
because that's when I think who your true fans are overall, or the people who've been supporting you since day one. If you see people there supporting you when you're at that coffee shop or that rundown bar, and you're performing that show with like a $2 amp, you know who it is. You know who's the real fan.
Absolutely.
Here, And not to discredit people, because some people, some people can't help it because they didn't have money to go to the show, or they weren't around from that time. But it's definitely one of those things. But I feel like you guys are very accepting of the obviously old fans, new fans. I think you guys have as El had described before, that he's very accepting of the fans that come up to him, like the old fans.
Oh my gosh! Shout out to a little girl last night named Montana.
No, really, a little girl.
Yeah, she was what had to have been 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Right?
If she was 8, I'd be shocked.
But there's no way.
No way.
But she was headbanging to every single song.
No, don't worry. Her dad was there.
Yes.
She didn't just wander into a bar.
I would hope not. I would hope not.
I mean, you could just tell this little girl was into metal, and so as Hellshock and being like you had said, accepting of anybody and everybody. I mean, that's a future generation.
Yeah, it's crazy
in a predominantly pop rap market
very
that we're in right now.
Yeah.
Seeing somebody like that, at that age, being so into it. I mean, we were like, here, have a shirt, have a pair of drumsticks, have a pick. We want you to have everything.
We want you to remember this.
Oh, and I'm sure she will. And I think every single band member took a picture with her.
Yeah.
Parenting done right?
Yeah. I mean, yes.
She did have ear protection. So.
Okay, good. All right, so no, and that's good, because I feel like especially with this upcoming generation, it's going to be definitely interesting to see how it's going to be, if it's going to be very lopsided on what genres are predominant. But I still have some hope, because once in a while I'll see some younger people, and they'll be headbanging to some Lamb of God, or they'll be talking about even like Deicide and stuff, and I'll be like,
Oh my
that's
goodness,
amazing.
wow.
That is amazing
Yeah.
that those guys like I already get like a flack enough for like, or not even flack, but very much more like shocked looks when I say, oh yeah, I know Anthrax, or you know, oh yeah, I know or I know like Demolition Hammer, and they're like, how do you even know that? You weren't even born around that time. I'm like, the internet's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
People tell you about bands, you go discover it yourself, and and that's the advantage to the internet, like musically, is that there's so much more that you can discover now.
Absolutely.
Bandcamp itself has like a discover tab, and it's so specific with what you want too, though. It's like you can like obviously choose a regular genre. You know, it could be classical, it could be punk, rock, pop, rap, it could be anything. But then once you click on that, they've got like multiple subgenres, and you just get such a wealth of like different bands that have like you know, like there's like bands I had never heard of, and I would have never had the chance to heard like if I was growing up in an older time. Like obviously you're not gonna figure out about Igor or I think it was Douche Freude from France. Both bands are from France. I would have never known that because hey, I don't live in Paris. I don't live in exactly. So I think it's really cool.
I mean, many years ago, I discovered Gojira.
Oh, Gojira!
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the good old French metal, there, I was just blown away. One of the things I really dig about Gojira is when I listen to their songs. Playing guitar and all that stuff, and having written songs, I know how a song should go.
Yeah,
I know how a song should sound and all that other stuff. And when I listen to Gojira, it kind of just takes a slight turn that I'm not expecting.
I was going to say they break those barriers.
Yeah.
No, and what was it? As of recently, Gojira had gotten a little bit of flack from Magma because it wasn't as heavy as their previous records. But the thing is I think all they did was they toned it down. It's a solid album, like especially with like content. I think they've always been consistent on like deep meaning content.
Absolutely.
It's just that I guess there's a lot of people who think that heaviness shall tell if an album is good or not. I don't agree with it, but there are people out there who say it, and it's something I've just never understood personally. It's
absolutely.
Like I'm sure that obviously like Whitechapel, obviously their songs have meaning, or any like death metal or deathcore band, they all have meaning. But it's much more of it being like, and I don't want to tell people what they should focus on, but I feel like it's focusing on the wrong thing.
Absolutely.
If you're focusing on how heavy the music is, because then I think that's just for your own edgy agenda, no pun intended. But
well, I think in this day and time, I think people are sort of losing what it is to be a band. I mean, you're an artist.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a form of artistry. It is an art. And when you go judging it on this and this and that, and people saying, well, it's this and it's not this.
Yeah.
I mean, who are you to say that when you look at a painting of Van Gogh that somebody sees it a completely different way than you do? And I want people to look at our music and whatever you want it to mean, that's what it means. I mean, I personally with my lyrics,
you leave it open for interpretation.
Yeah, absolutely. I love being metaphorical. I mean, and if anybody asks me what any certain song is about, I'll tell them. Yeah. I'll tell them how I wrote it and what it is to me. But if somebody hears it a different way, I mean, that's totally up to them, and I love that. I mean, that's what art is being able to look or hear or feel or whatever, any way you want.
Yeah. All right, so just a quick announcement. Are you a Harper student looking for a job? Well, look no further. Every week from 8:30 till 4 p.m. on the Job Placement Resource Center in room W207, Job Placement Professionals will help you with resumes and job search. Stop in for all your employment needs. All right, tuning in now. We got Jagged Music still here. We're still here with Hellshock. Been some fantastic guests, so I do applaud them.
Oh, thank you.
And a fantastic host.
Oh, thanks, man. So we're going to be doing like the last few minutes here. So we've just been talking really about lyrical interpretation and whatnot. And I think the one things that I talked about a few times is what are your thoughts on subgenres? Do you feel like they're a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm going to field this question first.
Have at it.
I don't like to give anything a good or bad sort of
a
whatever.
title, yeah.
Personally, to me, I'm gonna go with the god of rock and roll and pull a Lemmy here and say we play rock and roll. I mean, if you want to call it metal, that's fine. But I mean, like, it's rock and roll. even metal is a subgenre of rock and roll.
Yeah, rock
and
was,
even rock is a subgenre of the blues. I mean, you can trace everything back, you know. It all comes down to, I assume, you know, people banging on pots and pans,
or you know, like
rocks
in the
caves.
Stone Age.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I'm sure if somebody worked, I saw something a while back when I was in school, and they were talking about how they had found like pots, like
pots
from
and
caves
pans.
and stuff, and they were able to put it on like a record thing, and they were able to hear.
Yeah, they were able to hear the sounds.
It was really, really neat. I mean, who's to say that, you know, you couldn't put out an album of just listening to a pot, and somebody might be like, oh my gosh, listen to how metal that is.
I mean, it's one of those things where you're thinking, like, I wonder if I can play In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, the drum solo, like the do.
So I mean, as far as like subgenres, I'm not going to tell you if it's good or bad, but if people want me to describe the way that I sing or the way that our music gets played, I'll again, much like my lyrics, I'll try and describe it as best I can so that people can understand it. But I mean, it's really whatever you want it to mean. I don't know how you feel about subgenres, Jako.
No, I think they're all terrible. No,
straight answer, flat.
No, to me, I mean, I'll obviously I've used the term genre, subgenre,
because
and especially today, but that's just for. Almost for me, for illustrative purposes. You know, I'm not a big fan of putting things in a box. I hate packing up and moving because I literally hate putting things into a box.
Poet.
But to me, when I say genre or when I'm talking about genres, it's more of gives you a line of thought, a direction of how I'm thinking or what my ears are hearing. And going back to meanings of songs, if I may go back in a little bit.
Go ahead.
No.
You shush. Metallica's The Unnamed Feeling, to me, is one of the most fantastic lyrically written songs ever, because of personally what I get out of that. And I'm not going to tell anybody what that song means. I can only tell them what it means to me. And to me, it's a song just about having panic attacks, anxiety-ridden, times. And I've talked to other people out there. It's like, oh, I didn't get that at all. But that's one of the greatest things about music, and about whether it's a type of genre or what have you. It's what you get out of it, and you can communicate with other people about it. That's what's so great about it.
We have one of my personal favorites of Hellshock and the newer written music is a song that we have called Channel 40, and those lyrics are so near and dear to me because I wrote them because I was so frustrated with the news, the media, television, and it's sort of a combination of the movie They Live.
Oh yeah,
and a young lady that shot herself on the news, Christine Chubbuck, from like the 1970s. It was sort of like a combination of those two things, and how I would rather, instead of turning on my TV, I would rather look into the sun than turn on my TV and have to watch any of this garbage.
No, I definitely agree. And
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I was just dying to fit that little bit in this whole interview.
We do appreciate
I love
to get
that,
a little insight on.
I love that song
process.
so much.
All right. That's going to be it for now. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you so much.
And
Thanks
Jako,
for hosting.
I appreciate you guys coming out here. I wish you luck in your future endeavors, of course. So just to give a little quick reminiscence, Hellshock has a new EP out. Pick it up or listen to it on what, guys?
Yes.
On Yes.
On whatever, your iTunes, your Spotify, all that stuff. It's streaming. You could buy it, of course, there. You could always try to get a hold of us, whether through Facebook, Twitter.
And you said that you were going to play one of our songs here in a little bit, correct?
Yeah. I'll play it next week.
All right. I'll pinky
promise you. I'll pinky promise you.
Well, we're leaving it with you, so
for sure.
But yeah, you can find it anywhere there. Contact us, or come out to a show.
Yeah,
that's the best thing. Come out to a show.
As they said, they're a shock band.
Yeah.
Well, follow us on Facebook.
Of course.
I think it's facebook.com/HellshockOfficial. Official. There is a band out of Oregon that has the same name as us, Hellshock PDX.
We're working on trying to get a show with them.
Oh,
they're a bit of again to genre label. They're a little bit of the crust metal punk, if you will.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be a fantastic show. The two Hellshocks going at it.
Yeah, and also there's a another Facebook page that used to be an old Facebook page of ours that we no longer use. So if you check us out on Facebook, like I said, I think it's facebook.com/HellshockOfficial, and it says that we're out of Streamwood. So just to keep that in mind.
All right. So this is Jon Edgelord O'Malley from Jagged Music signing off. You are listening to WHCM 88.3 FM Palatine, Illinois, a broadcast station of Harper College and its Board of Trustees. I'll leave you to the music, and you guys have a great one.
Thank you so much.